AEW stars are upset with MJF this morning. Plus, Cody Rhodes' AEW throne smashing was referenced on Raw last night, and a title match has been added to WWE Hell in a Cell. It's all in the wrestling news right now. AEW stars are upset with MJF. What's going on, Jack?
So basically, he didn't leave Las Vegas after Double or Nothing.
The film.
Apparently so, yes. And has a meeting planned with Tony Khan, according to Fightful Select. But Fightful Select have had a bit of a weird response to this. They've said this didn't start out as a work. They very much reiterated that. But when they asked their sources if this part of the story was real or not, the MJF and the meeting with Tony Khan and everything, there wasn't really a reply. That's different. And they've even said that's the first time that this has happened throughout the whole situation.
Because they're normally pretty chatty back and forth with them, aren't they?
A little bit, yeah. And I don't really know what that means. It still sounds like the sort of thing that would be real, possibly. I don't know. It's hard to tell.
It definitely started as a real thing. It's kind of become the storyline thing, but then where that line is blurring, we don't quite know.
Tony Khan also reportedly told members of the roster that he's willing to pay MJF like a top talent, but apparently MJF's frustration didn't subside. Fightful are already also saying that MJF told numerous people backstage that he knew the situation would likely come to a head and be discussed come Double or Nothing week. That's Tony Khan's. That's what he's apparently told members of the roster. But also, apparently some members of the roster are upset with MJF, according to PW Insider, because they think some sort of a deal or agreement might have been reached to get through Double or Nothing, some sort of financial deal.
Really? And that would set a bit of a weird precedent if that was indeed the case.
He's done a Jarrett.
He's done a Jarrett.
I'm not saying he has done a Jarrett. I shouldn't say
that. That's a great callback, though.
Oh, I know. Remember that?
Yeah, the Good Housekeeping match.
Yes, and who else has done that before? Although, Ultimate Warrior.
Ultimate Warrior did that.
But Jarrett was more that his contract had expired and they needed him or something.
I can imagine as well that there is, as well as that bit of it, there'll be some people within AEW upset with the MJF thing as a whole, because it kind of takes a lot of the eyes and the spotlight away from other places. You know, it should, a pay-per-view that should have been all about sort of the CM Punk becoming a world champion for the first time in nearly a decade, and everyone's just going, is MJF working for the company or not? Like how quickly Tony Khan shot down that question in the media scrum, going, not talking about MJF.
Yeah,
that's it. And now there was.
He was happy to talk about other stuff for about 2.5 hours though,
and the rest. Jeez, he likes a good chatter, does Tony Khan.
Does, yeah.
Now, Fightful Select also reported. I don't think it's in these notes here, but they've also reported there was set to be a meeting between Khan and MJF last night. How that went, if it went, we don't quite know.
No, we don't.
But it's a story that we will continue to monitor. Where are we at on this? Because we're so deep into the mire with it now, and there's people screaming from both sides. This is blatantly a shoot, and this is blatantly a work.
Yeah. Well, for me, I think that when you watch the match, I think the clue for me, at least, is in the match. So when you watch the match, everything that MJF does that could possibly reference this situation is stuff that's just him on his own. So he walks out a bit late from his theme music, or he does the airplane thing in the ring. But commentary don't mention anything once, which to me is quite telling. Like, I find that a bit odd, because you'd think if they were trying to be really clever and do this whole situation, you'd have Excalibur saying, like, referencing it and saying, like, well, he's let everyone down, and they just didn't mention it. And for me, I reckon that it at least did start out as a shoot, yeah.
Or would you deliberately not mention it?
I don't think that Tony Khan's that subtle.
No. Fair point, well made. Talking of subtle references made on AEW, remember that time Cody Rhodes smashed Triple H's throne?
Yes, and just remembering it gives me so much adrenaline in my soul.
I know people that use subtext and they're all cowards. It got referenced on Raw last night. This was fun. Seth's promo was really good last night.
Yes, it certainly was. And he spoke some home truths as well, or his version of home truths, I should say. He said, you left WWE 6 years ago because you weren't good enough. And then every single day that you were gone, you and your little friends tried to tear down what I was building here. And when that didn't work out so well for you, you came running back. The prodigal son returns home to fulfill his family legacy. Not on my watch, pal. That line was fed directly to him by Vince McMahon. You don't get to be the conquering hero in my kingdom. My kingdom. You don't get to take a sledgehammer to the throne and then get to come back to take back the throne from me. Which I think is a complex throne metaphor that Seth's used there, because the throne's already smashed, but now he's coming back to take the other throne.
Take the bits of the throne.
Yeah. But anyway, it was a good promo. But I'm surprised it's taken this long for a heel to cut this promo on Seth. On Cody, excuse me.
I mean, I like that. I mean, they've been too busy doing cartwheels and going, "Oh, look, I'm Stardust! Isn't it hilarious?" So I think you've left that particular hot take, that hot slice of promo action for the go home show for Hell in a Cell. Which, I mean, we'll talk about the Hell in a Cell card. I think it needed a promo like that.
Oh, it's really come along fast. It really has crept up on us. And we do still have SmackDown, but that's just one show.
But here's the thing, though, sir. I don't know whether you've noticed this, but it's an all Raw card.
Oh, unless we get to SmackDown and they just go,
here's some more wrestlers.
There's no Roman Reigns, certainly, and no Usos, but do you think they'll end up defending the tag belts against Nakamura and Riddle?
I mean, it'd be nice to chuck that in there.
I mean,
They chose to.
It needs maybe some SmackDown.
It's just a little bit of SmackDown. It had 2 matches added to it last night. Judgment Day, Edge, Damian Priest, and Rhea Ripley are going to face AJ Styles, Finn Balor, and Liv Morgan in a 6-person mixed tag. That should be fun.
I think so. I think that should be fun, and I think that because Liv Morgan pinned Rhea on Raw last night, I think we're looking at another win for the Judgment Day friends. They're not called the Judgment Day friends.
Judgment Day friends having adventures and having a laugh.
Do you think one of their opponents will be tempted over to the dark side?
Or if anyone, Liv Morgan.
Oh yes, yeah. She likes wearing like goth makeup sometimes, so I can. That's as far as my reasoning goes. No, Edge really wants AJ. He keeps saying like, AJ, you should have joined AJ.
Join the dark side. Yeah. Ali will challenge for the US title at Hell in a Cell as well. There was some shenanigans last night on Raw. It was like, hey, beat Ciampa and you might get a US title match. He won by DQ because Theory got involved.
Yeah.
Went, have the match now. Now you're hurt. To which Adam Pearce came out and went, whoa,
check your texts.
Check your
texts before you wreck your text. Because Vince McMahon wants a real match for this at the pay-per-view. And then Theory beat him up backstage. And, yeah. I would be surprised if Mustafa Ali wins this match, I've got to say.
Yeah, I would be. So Ali and Theory added to the Hell in a Cell card for the US title, as well as Judgment Day and Balor Styles, the anti-Judgment Day friends, as we'll call them.
Absolutely.
Ezekiel versus Kevin Owens on the card. Bobby Lashley versus Omos and MVP.
Yeah, that one closed Raw. They closed the go-home segment, which I was surprised at, which again I think exposes maybe the thinness of this card a little bit.
What's that mean? Bianca Belair versus Asuka versus Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's title. That could be potentially match of the night.
Yeah, that's really good.
If the main event, I'm presuming, doesn't take it, which is the Hell in a Cell match between Cody Rhodes and Seth freaking Rollins.
Absolutely. I think that it's a decent card on paper, but it just seems well, as you say, very one-sided in terms of the brand. Maybe deliberately, but all the reports we've been hearing is suggesting the opposite, that the brand split's more like it's going to end rather than be reinforced. So I don't know.
Some speculation heading into Hell in a Cell. I wonder whether we could do a video where we maybe speculate on what might happen at Hell in a Cell.
I think you've already done that one, Tom. Oh no, that was about the brand split. I guessed what the end of your sentence was going to be, and it was wrong.
I was talking about 9 pitches.
I'm so sorry.
For Hell in a Cell.
Well, I'm having a. You don't know watching this, right? But I really messed up the start of this video as well, and I was like, no, if I'm fine, I can do it.
You had a late night last night.
Yeah.
You had a late night.
Yes, we will. I'm glad you brought that up. We'll be doing 9 pitches. We'll be recording it today, so get ready for that. That'll be up on the channel at some point in the near future. My goodness me.
Go have a lie down. We'll bring you more news throughout the day at cultaholic.com.
Oh, yeah, we've got another one.
Stay safe. Love you. Bye.